name's Michelle. Welcome to Healthy Helpings TV. Today I'm going to show you a beautiful way to prepare your meat that makes it a bit more interesting, and we're going to give it a beautiful Mediterranean flavour. Now, traditionally this meal is done with veal, it's veal scallopini, but today I'm going to show you how to do it with some chicken breast fillet. I've also seen this done absolutely beautifully with using a white fish, and it's absolutely lovely. Okay, so to start off with, we're going to take our chicken breast fillet. Now, I've got 150 grams or 5 ounces per person here, so just calculate that depending on how many people you're going to be cooking for. And I've just cut it up into some strips. Now, next what I'm going to do is just take a piece of baking paper, place that on top, and flatten those out until they're about half a centimetre thin, so 1/4 of an inch. Now what this does is make sure that the chicken gets cooked really quickly to maintain a nice crispy outside, juicy inside, and everything's cooked evenly, because chicken breast fillets aren't an even thickness. Then what we're going to do is just coat that in a little bit of flour, which I've mixed with a little bit of salt and pepper. Now I'm using 1 tablespoon worth of flour, and that should be enough for 2 people's worth of chicken. So it's really not that many extra carbs if you're worried about your carb. Okay, so we're just going to put the chicken aside, and I'm going to just tell you a little bit about the sauce that we're going to make today. So we're going to make a sauce using both tinned whole tomatoes and chopped fresh tomatoes. Now if you don't have tomatoes in season at the moment, then just wait till kind of end of summer until they are in season. Of course, if it is the end of summer where you are, you're in luck. We've also got 1 tablespoon of capers. Now I absolutely love capers, they're delicious, and if I see them on the menu I'll definitely pick them out. I've also got a couple of cloves of chopped up garlic, half an onion which I've roughly chopped, and some Kalamata olives. I've got about 3 ounces or 90 grams of Kalamata olives. Now I always buy these with the pips in, and then my handy little trick is to use one of these things, which is a cherry stoner, and you just put them in there, squish the seed through, and Bob's your uncle. It's all sorted. Now the reason I buy them with the stone in is they have much more flavour rather than the ones that have been sitting around in the brine the whole time. I've also got a bunch here of fresh flat leaf Italian style parsley, which I'll be putting in towards the end. Okay, so what we need to do to get started making the sauce is get a chopping board and crack open our tin of tomatoes. Now I've got whole ones here, and I'm going to chop them up. It makes it easier for me to separate the sauce from the tomatoes. So just pull those out and just roughly chop them up on your chopping board. Now just reserve any juice that's in there, because you might want to do that, keep that for a little bit later on. Okay, so taking a clean knife and just roughly chopping those up. Next what we're going to do is just head over to a preheated skillet, and we're just going to melt a tiny bit of butter, about 5 grams or 1 teaspoon, and just put a splash of olive oil as well. Now the olive oil is going to stop the butter from burning, and the butter is going to give it a delicious flavour. Towards the end there, just toss in your couple of cloves of garlic. Once your onions are nice and caramelised, what I want you to do is just grab a tablespoon and measure out a good tablespoon of red wine vinegar. And just stir that in. And then straight away grab your tomatoes which you've chopped and toss those in. So for now these are just the tin tomatoes. Now we're going to let that simmer and just reduce down for about 10 minutes. The red wine vinegar though, that's definitely the secret ingredient to making a really beautiful sauce. Make sure you get a really good quality French red wine vinegar, because some of them just don't taste that great. So I've also preheated a griddle pan here, and what I'm going to do is then grab some spray oil, spray that on there, and we're going to start to cook the chicken. Now the chicken's going to cook very quickly, so it's a good idea to have the sauce almost finished before you put the chicken in. Now you probably need to cook your chicken in batches, so make sure that you have a nice warm plate ready to put them onto, just to keep them warm after they're done. Now they should really only need a minute or so on each side. You'll be able to see when the first side starts to show a little bit of white, starts to look like it's cooked, you'll know it's ready to flip them over. Now if you find your sauce is drying out a little bit, you might just want to get a little bit of liquid from the tinned tomatoes and pour that in. The second side of the chicken will need even less time than the first bit. And the flour just makes it have a beautiful golden texture that you can see there. So just repeat that with the remaining bits of chicken that you've got. Okay, so once you've flipped your last batch of chicken, that's when you want to move your attention back to your sauce quickly. Just grab the remaining ingredients, the olives, the capers and the tomatoes, and stir those through your sauce. Instantly you can see all those beautiful Mediterranean flavours starting to appear. Also at this point you can add in your salt and pepper. Just a little bit of salt. And some pepper. Just going to taste that for seasoning. Tiny bit more pepper. Oh, using those tinned tomatoes is great, especially in winter, because you get all the sweetness of really nice ripe tomatoes without having to worry about seasonal produce. Now I've just got some zucchini here, or courgette, which I'm also sautéing with a bit of thyme and a bit of garlic, which I'm just going to serve on the side. The recipe for that will also be up on the webpage during the week, healthyhelpingstv.com. Now this is a beautiful and healthy alternative to doing something that's a full breading kind of coating, but you get that nice crunch and you still get all the juiciness preserved within the chicken because you're cooking it very quickly at a nice high heat. Finally, just finish off your sauce with a big handful of chopped up fresh flat leaf parsley. It'll just add that nice freshness to the whole dish. Now onto your chicken, you're just going to spoon a nice spoonful of this tomato sauce. And I'm also going to throw a few of these zucchini on the side. And just a few of these golden crispy potatoes as well. I love these, but they're a bit of a special occasion thing. Again, I'll put the recipe up on the Healthy Helpings TV website. So that's it for another episode of Healthy Helpings TV. I hope you've enjoyed the show, and I hope I've been able to show you a bit of an interesting way to turn that boring grilled meat that you've probably been having for weeks on end on your healthy eating plan into something a bit more special. Don't forget you can check out the website healthyhelpingstv.com for all the recipes, including the extra bits that I didn't have time to show you this week. And don't forget to check out gnmhealth.com for lifestyle, health and fitness information and other podcasts and vodcasts just like this. So I'm going to get stuck into this. You have a great week and I'll see you next time.